Hi guys. Welcome. It is December. I am pretty lazy and I do not want to get out my computer to take out a video on my phone on my computer, so I am taking a video on my phone instead. And it's late at night, so whatever. Um so I've been watching the TV show called The Artful Dodger on Hulu. Um, it, I personally think is a very good show, and it has Thomas Brody Sanger. I think that's how you say his name. Thomas Brody Sanger. I think that's how you say his name. He was in the Maze Runner series, if you know that one. And he was in Godless. That was on Netflix. He's been in some other things, but those are the two ones that I know him from. He was in like Nanny McPhee. He's like 33, but he's got this baby face that's super cute and adorable, and I love him for it. Anyway, that's not the point. So this video, I have watched the entire series, but this is my, video that I'm trying to do that is like spoiler free. And then I'll probably do another video that does have spoilers for it. And so if you can watch which video you want based on if you're okay with spoilers, maybe I'll do like 3, like spoiler free, some spoilers, and then like, okay, if you've seen the whole one or you really don't care about any, like knowing about the entirety of the show, you can watch this video. So, just a bit of context for the show. This show takes place in Australia in the 1850s, and it is Thomas's character is the main character, and he is playing Jack Dawkins, aka the Artful Dodger, which is a character from Oliver Twist. And it is 15 years after the events in Oliver Twist. Now, I have never read Oliver Twist, nor have I ever seen a movie or TV adaptation of Oliver Twist. So I had no idea what was going to happen, who the characters were besides Oliver. And even that, I was like, what, like, please, can I have some more? Stuff like that. That's all I got. There's some British stuff going on, and all I knew was that they were children who were stealing stuff. That's basically all I knew. So I had to do a little bit of research on who these people were, and I learned that the Artful Dodger, aka this character, Jack, was kind of the leader of the group of kid like thieves back in London. And he was like 13, and at the end of the book, apparently he was put in prison, and apparently he was supposed to be put in prison for 15 years. And now I'm not sure at the end of the book on if he was like put in prison and then that's the end of it. But at the beginning of the TV show, it says he escaped from prison. So, yeah. Now, I don't know if that happened in the book Oliver Twist or if they just have that happening, because they have him escaping from prison and then joining the Navy because like some Navy guy sees potential in him. And yeah. So, I mean, that's not giving anything really away. That's just kind of a backstory to who his character is, because he becomes a Navy surgeon. and he works as a Navy surgeon for like 15 years, and then ends up in Australia, and is working as a surgeon in Australia. And yeah, so he and this other doctor surgeon guy are working as two different surgeons at this hospital, and that's just basically a butchery place because, it's the 1850s, so there's no pain medication, there's no real science to like stuff. Like everything was just like, okay, like you break a bone, you're gonna die, or we're gonna have to amputate it, basically like that. So he's just, since he's very good with doing things quickly, I guess, because of his thievery in the past, he's good with doing the art of surgery. And yeah, I guess that's what the potential that was seen in him. But let's see, what else can I say? Now, we'll say our secondary protagonist, that's our female protagonist, her name is Belle, and she is the governor's daughter. She's one of two governor's daughters. So there's the eldest governor's daughter, and then there's the younger governor's daughter. And the younger governor's daughter really wants to get married, but she can't get married until the older governor's daughter gets married. And so the younger daughter is like, "Will you please get married? Will you please get married? Come on, come on, come on, come on." And then the other one is more interested in like things like health. And she actually is interested in surgery. And she's interested in like the human body and anatomy and stuff like that. And she's like, I don't have interest in getting married. It's just not something that I'm interested in. And so these other sister is getting frustrated with her. And you can all guess where this is headed, right? I mean, I don't have to tell you where this is headed. But I can go into that later in a different video if you'd like. Which I will do anyway. But so basically those are the two protagonists. But as you can tell, since she is the governor's daughter, she has so many more means in her life than Jack's character. She has things that he doesn't have. She has, the allowances to have different books, materials, things like that he wouldn't have been able to have without her. One thing, it's apparently called ether, and it's kind of basically like a drug that makes it so that people don't feel pain so they can do surgery. And Jack is like, yeah, no, we would never be able to do this because we'd never be able to do this surgery because people would die of shock and pain and everything if we were to try and do this surgery. And she was like, well, why can't you just use the ether? And he's like, because it's not allowed and we don't have any. And she's like, well, I have some. And then she's like, assists him. I'll just say that. And by giving him ether. But it just kind of shows how entitled she is. And yeah, so that's one thing that's kind of like, okay, well, it kind of shows you how entitled she is compared to him and some other characters, including one of the nurses that are around. Now, if I'm talking about things that I dislike about the show, I had looked up somebody's reaction to it, the show, and they didn't really like the music, mainly because it seemed a little bit more modern. And by modern music, I think they meant more like more instrumental modern, like the guitars was more modern, stuff like that. It was a little bit more upbeat modern instead of you know, not classical modern, but like, time period. If you're looking for the music that would be played during that time period, if you're looking for music that was going to be played during that time period, I agree. Music that being played during the time period isn't always being played during some scenes. But as a background music, I do think that there are some scenarios where some like upbeat music that's not technically from the time period is kind of cool. Just because it's like it's upbeat, it's more just kind of like out there, kind of fun. It's just kind of like it's kind of a jam. Like it's like one of the first scenes is like it's got this like jamming music and I'm like I like this. But I could see why people don't like it. And Jack gets himself in trouble right from the start because he plays cards with this guy who ends up cheating. And so Jack probably would have had the one winning hand or something. And but the guy was like he cheated and then he was like, okay, well, you owe me either 26 pounds. There's a shit ton of money for Jack because he doesn't get paid to be a doctor, which is shitty. Or I'm going to take your hand. And he's like, well, I can't be a doctor without my hand. So we're going to see how we're going to do this. And so then things happen and he is going to try and figure out how he's going to come up with 26 pounds within like a week because that's just insane. And yeah, obviously he doesn't want to go back to thievery. He wants those days to be behind him. Pickpocketing is obviously not ideal for him. But it also is kind of something that's in his blood. It's something that he still loves. And like a devil portion of him that loves it. So yeah, it's kind of hard for him. But yeah. And then Belle comes along, like I said. And yes, she kind of gets thrown into the picture. And then, okay, yeah, my second thing that I'm going to say that I disliked was, I guess this is where, it's on Hulu, and I have Hulu without ads, so it just kind of throws me off every time because, they stop it for an ad every once in a while, or what would be an ad time, but for me, it just kind of goes to a black sequence and then goes back to playing the video, but it's just really off. It's just like it's like a cutscene and it's just a bad cutscene, I feel like. So like I feel like they could stop it at a better point or have like a transitionary period that goes down and then comes back up or something. I don't know how to quite explain it unless you see the actual TV show. But I feel like they just kind of like cut the scene and then start a completely different scene, but not in a good way. So that's really my biggest like disappointment, I'll say. That and the fact that Belle wears like these big, huge skirts all the time. And I'm like, you're in a hospital. Wear something more like, I don't know, normal or like something more practical. I mean, I'm not saying you have to wear pants, but like, I don't know, like wear the same thing that like a nurse is wearing. Something like not floofy or something, just because it's just more practical. Because how are you supposed to do anything in like a big hoop skirt sort of thing? I'm just like, oh, yeah. That's the only thing. Those are the only two things. I was just like, this is just a very impractical outfit that you're wearing right now. But I'm all about practicality when it comes to things like that. And so I'm just like, those were the only two things. I think maybe I'll come up with something else later. Yeah, but I personally didn't mind the music, but I do know that some people may have disliked the music. And I can understand why. I guess it's kind of like Bridgerton. Well, it's not like Bridgerton because Bridgerton does this like soft melodic music of newer pieces, if you know what I mean. Like, but obviously it is using new songs and transforming them into like 1800s music, if that makes sense. To try and make them look like that so that they can use them to play ballads and everything. And yeah, but you know what, I personally like it so far. Well, I mean, I've watched it all, but like I liked it all. There was a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of stuff that was going on that I didn't expect. There was some stuff that I kind of did expect, but I was still okay with the fact that I expected it. And I liked the way that they played it out and everything. And then there was there was just some fun aspects. Like, you didn't have to really, like, it didn't have to be, like, 100% accurate all the time for you to love it, And that's what I liked. Kind of sometimes simplicity is key, and I think sometimes when they kept it simple, it was kind of nice. And I liked the actors in it, not just Thomas, who played Jack, but I liked the woman who played Belle. I think her name's Maya. And Fagin, who he comes back in. I needed to look up Fagin because I didn't know who Fagin is. So Fagin is Jack's, like, the leader of the group in London. He was like the teacher, the master, the Jedi Yoda, or of all of the kids, and he was the adult. Now Fagin, he was in it, but I won't go into how he was in it because that would give stuff away. But he was played by, I don't know his name, but he's the guy who played the werewolf in Harry Potter. So if you know who that is, yeah, I think he was the werewolf in Harry Potter. Yeah, pretty sure that was that same guy. Oh, sorry, oh, wow. My Chromecast just did this, like, flashy thing. If you have a Chromecast and it, like, changes pictures on you because you're not using it, that's what it just did. And it changed pictures, so it got really bright for like, a second. And I was just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, see, there it did it again. Okay. Well, because I just am not really caring about what the lighting is going on right now. But yeah, I personally liked it. And I mean, it has been blowing up on, like, a bunch of, like, media sites and everything, and apparently it was only meant to be a 1-season miniseries, 8 episodes, But I am praying for a season 2. Like, praying so hard for a season 2 because, like, it's doing so well. And, like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like if it keeps on doing this well, like, they might consider doing a season 2 because there's potential. There's potential for it. That's all I'm gonna say. There's just definitely potential for it. And yeah, I think it would be really cool to see where they would go with season 2 if they did do a season 2. So yeah, I'll leave this video at that. And if I make another one, I will send it. But yeah. Okay. Night.